Hi.
Hi.
Stop
What
it!
did you pause?
Hi, my name is Jariva, and my pronouns are she and her.
My name is Tim, and my pronouns are he and him.
And we are the co-founders of BeFor Collective. And we are here to tell you how BeFor Collective came to be. So, answering this first question of how BeFor Collective came to be, BeFor Collective was created out of the pandemic. It was created out of a stillness, a quiet, a time of reflection, a time where we just let the busyness of the day go away because we had no choice. And it allowed us to really become one with ourselves, do those things that we really wanted to do. Our organic garden, we started vermicomposting, and I started back up my yoga practice, started virtual workouts, really getting to my body, really feeling embodied, and really set off on this course of transformation and healing. At the same time, we, of course, were going through a period, we've been going through a period of social unrest, and the social justice movement has just exploded into where we are now. And I think that George Floyd was a pivotal moment in all of our lives, but this has been going on since Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile. And at some point in time, it's like enough is enough. We've had too much. We as a people are traumatized every single day. And to see our people continue to be so without justice being enacted, to see women of trans experience such as Malaysia Booker not experience justice, it was a call for healing, a call for us to do something, to do some type of work to heal the pain, the sadness, the anger, the rage that was happening within each one of us. And so that, to me, through the stillness of the pandemic, allowed me to really vision and see why BeFor Collective needed to be here, right now.
Throughout this pandemic, we found ourselves attending different workshops, seminars on how to garden, how to vermicompost, doing yoga. One of the common threads that kept coming up was how a lot of these activities have an ancient lineage tied to them. And so what we were doing today in 2020 wasn't anything particularly new. So as we learned and practiced what we were learning, we realized that we were looking back to the past to take the best of what our ancestors knew and learned to bring forward and use in 2020 today to heal ourselves.
What does BeFor Collective mean to each one of us? Timoteo, you want to go first?
Yes. So continuing from my last answer, we came up with the word before. Actually, Jariva said it. We weren't together at the time. And of course, my mind went to BEFORE, as in the past. And I was like, that sounds good. You know, it aligns with Sankofa, and a lot of the principles that we know align with going to the past and bringing forward that which is valuable. What our ancestors did, 200, 300, 400 years ago was take a stand for freedom. They knew the conditions they were living in were not optimum, and it wasn't what they wanted for themselves or their children. So in that spirit, today in 2020, we also want to take a stand for the injustice that we see, experience at times, and take a stand so that our children and the generations that come behind us benefit from actions that we're taking today.
Well said, Timoteo. BeFor Collective, what it means to me. He pretty much covered it. But what I have to add is that I have always known, I think since a very young age, that my role on this earth and my purpose is to advocate for and inspire the disenfranchised and the disadvantaged. I've worked in a field and in nonprofit most of my life and been able to do that through my vocation. But in the most recent years, I haven't. And so I've been actively seeking paths to do that. I've always done that also, not only through my vocation, but through volunteering. But I've always felt a need and a sense to live from that place in everything that I do, and everything that encompasses my actions, my deeds, my words, my thoughts. From that place, I wanted to live. And so I've been trying to figure out how to connect what I saw as my vision with truly my vocation and living from that place of advocacy, empowerment. And again, it was through the contemplative quiet of the pandemic that this vision that I believe has been dropping in for years. We've been getting little insights, little hints as to things that we wanted to do, but it really wasn't until we had the opportunity just to be still and to be quiet that I knew this is what we were supposed to do. And I've always we were members of a spiritual community, and one of the things that really stood out from one of the talks was the importance of standing for something instead of being against. And so that always resonated with me, and that was so powerful. And the way in which I wanted to live my life, I wanted to stand for, be for. Again, that's about advocacy and empowering, and it falls right in alignment with that. And so the name just dropped in, and it was perfect. And for us, BeFor Collective means standing for healing, standing for transformation, standing for freedom. And that's done through these ancient practices and teachings and traditions that we have been taught, we went back to, we have learned not only in the past, but right here, right now, in this experience called COVID-19. And so BeFor Collective is here to heal an individual, to help them align their mind, body, and spirit, to move them through to a place of transformation and healing, and to allow them to be inspired and inspire others so that we have this transformative movement of universal healing and just love and compassion to one another. That's what BeFor Collective means to me. And of course, we have this video that's going to be up on our website, and you can see all about our mission and our vision and who we are. But we really want to talk from our hearts today and tell you why we are here and why we feel that BeFor Collective is important and something that we want to do with you. So that's what I have to say. Next question. What does our logo mean? Tim?
So our logo, if you take a look at it, has three primary elements, and there are probably even more that continue to unfold even as we look at the logo. The top of our logo is actually an image of the Sankofa bird. The Sankofa bird is used in an adinkra that says it is not taboo to go back to the past to fetch principles, proverbs, teachings that are valuable in the present, here and now. Beneath the bird's beak is an egg that represents the future. Beneath the bird is a lotus flower that represents healing. And one of the things I think about when I think of the lotus is it has to start from a seed in actual mud. And there's a saying that says, without mud, there is no lotus. And so that speaks to that transformation.
We have the roots that anchor us to our history, to our traditions, to who we are. And that's just ancient civilization. That can be African, that can be Indian, whatever that custom is, it provides healing and alignment. That's what the roots represent. Would you agree with that?
I do. What's that?
Then we have the lotus. The lotus is born out of the mud. I just read that lotus seeds can exist for hundreds of years. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but can exist for a very long time. 10s and 20, 30 years. And then still bloom and grow. And they come out of the mud. Their roots are in muddy swamp, and they grow these beautiful flowers that can extend up to 20 inches above the muddy water, into these brilliant, multicolored, well, they're not multicolored themselves, but they can be a variety of colors. Beautiful flowers that represent, for many different cultures, resilience, enlightenment, prosperity, transformation.
You name it.
What else am I missing? Well, that's what it means. And so that is the body of our Sankofa bird. As Tim already explained, the Sankofa bird is an ancient African symbol that represents going back and fetch it, going back to our history and bringing it forward into how we live our present and how we move forward in our future. So Sankofa was really important to both of us. I think it has resonated with us each for a very long time and been woven into our lives for a very long time. And so when BeFor Collective emerged, it was just natural for the Sankofa bird to be a part of our logo, to symbolize that go back and fetch it. And then, of course, if you come to my house, you will see lotus flowers, images of those in my home. They've always had very important meaning and represented that just resiliency and that beauty, and kind of that rose from the concrete type mentality, that there is beauty in tragedy, there's beauty in challenge, and that we can be the light in the midst of the storm. Anything else, Timoteo?
Around the logo is a circle that continues to speak to me when I see it. Some days I see the circle and it reminds me of unity. We know that we're more alike than we're different. And so that circle around it reminds me of our unity and collectiveness. It also reminds us of spirit. The circle is a symbol for spirit in some cultures. And so there is an element to the programs that we have in mind that bring spirit forward. And then, I don't know what else.
Tim is really deep. You see why? He's my co-founder. But I forgot about the sun. I remember we first saw different representations of the logo, and that one came forward, which I hadn't even thought of that. And that's it. Did I say the sun or the circle?
Sun.
Well, that's what it represented to me, was the sun. The circle represented the sun. And just kind of that sun coming up over the horizon. So when I saw that, that's what it represented to me. It was like, oh, wow, the sunrise. That's so perfectly connected to healing and transformation and enlightenment and rebirth. So divine providence, I don't know, but it was right there. Thank you, universe. All right. I think we are done with our third question.
Yes.
So the last question is, how do we plan to serve?
So this is still coming together for me. I think when we started, said that we're learning a lot about gardening, vermicomposting, yoga, I'm involved in drumming, and so there's an ancient backstory to all of these things that we're involved in that we really want to just share with the community. Not necessarily as experts, but having conversations with the community to say, hey, this is what I've learned. Maybe it can help you. Maybe you've done something that in turn will help me, help others that are connected to our platform. So that is exactly what we intend to do. One thing that's very important to me is working with underserved, underrepresented, undervalued communities and people. And so I definitely want to see us carry out our mission of bringing yoga and other traditions to communities that don't typically participate in some of these activities. Yeah.
Complete?
I'm not complete, but yeah, I can pause.
He's pausing. So while he pauses, I'll step in. So as Tim said, which I think we've talked about it, but haven't specifically mentioned, but one of the things about BeFor Collective to me is the importance of inclusivity and accessibility. That really stood out for me. Again, I have always felt that my role here in this current life is to advocate for and inspire the underserved, the disadvantaged, the disenfranchised. And that can be based on the color of your skin. It can be based on the size of your body. It can be based on your gender expression, your gender identity, all of that, your gender, all of that has had an impact on each one of us. And we know has affected our ability to be in rooms and spaces. And so it was very important that that be something that was a part of BeFor Collective. So you'll read on the website my journey as far as being fully embodied, which I'm still working on, but being in my body and accepting my body and loving my body as it is and feeling really empowered and strong and courageous and just me, not only emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, but finally I have captured that physically. And so through that, I wanted to share that experience with others. Not only was it for me personally, for a variety of reasons, it was due to a weight loss experience, but also it was due to just becoming strong in my body, working out, doing a daily yoga practice and finding flexibility and strength and being able to accomplish things that I never thought that my body would do, having a freedom, a joy in my body that before I couldn't climb up a flight of stairs without becoming winded. There was a level of healing and freedom in that. And I wanted people to experience that. People of smaller bodies, people of larger bodies. And we know that we as a society have issues with people with larger bodies. It is what it is. And I wanted everyone to feel welcome and to know their strength and their power and their beauty and their glory, where they are right here and right now, and to be healed. And so to me, starting on this path of yoga was a way for me to experience that. And I wanted to bring that to people. And so I've always desired to become a yoga teacher, but there was an opportunity that allowed itself to unfold during this time. And I took advantage of it. And I want to spread this healing to others, not just what you see in the magazines, not just the small blonde hair, blue eyed women, but yoga is for everyone. It's for larger, it's for medium, it's for smaller bodies, it's for anybody of any skin color. It is not just a physical practice, it is a way of living your life. We aren't told that. And it's brought so much freedom to me. So I wanted to be able to bring that forward. I wanted to be able to talk about meditation and how it's brought a calm and a stillness to me. I am still a student. I am still learning. There are still days that I walk into him and like, oh, my mind had a whole conversation with itself during my meditation practice. But I still know that the practice provides me with a level of calm, still, and the ability to respond versus react. And I felt that that was something that was important to pass on. And then I've already talked about my journey, but there is so much of discovery that has happened for years. And I want each of us to have the opportunity to grow and to learn and to be whole within ourselves and to understand that we can't take care of anybody if we don't take care of ourselves. And so that is another program that I want to provide. We have tons of programs that we want to provide, but this is where we're starting right here, right now. We have a lot of different ideas and things that we want to do that my sweet metaphysician right here, who is meant to be a teacher but has not quite yet embraced that, that we are going to do. And so there is a lot to come, but we are starting off with BeFor Yoga, which will be physical practice along with education about the spiritual practice of yoga. There will be BeFor Breath, which will be a pranayama, which is a breathing practice as well as meditation. And then there will be BeFor You, which will be classes and sessions available to really just talk about well-being and self-care and mind-body connection and how we grow as individuals so that we can go out and share our light with the world. So that's what I got. Tim, you got any more?
No.
You feel complete now?
I feel complete.
So we said a lot, and this is going on our website, BeFor Collective.com. So we hope that you join us. Again, we are not experts. We have our students, and we are passing on the knowledge that was imparted to us, and we are growing and we are transforming right beside you. So please join us on this journey to transformation and freedom so that we can be a part of the social movement for universal healing. Take care.
Peace.